30 seconds and counting.
Hey, what's good, guys? It's Clutch here and Simon here, back with another video. And for today's video, we're going to be talking about the Houston Texans. And today's video, I'm going to be explaining why I believe the Houston Texans should draft a wide receiver pretty early in this next upcoming draft. So we all see teams like the Minnesota Vikings, the Cincinnati Bengals, Dallas Cowboys, 49ers. We see a bunch of teams that have young receivers who are looking like they're going to be superstars. CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy from the Broncos, of course, Deebo Samuel, Justin Jefferson, and then Jamar Chase. There's a bunch of receivers that are young, like third-year players, first-year players in Jamar Chase, second-year players in CeeDee Lamb. There's a bunch of young receivers going crazy in the league right now. And, of course, Justin Jefferson, he's making Kirk Cousins look kind of better than what he really is, in my opinion. Justin Jefferson, I think he has close to 10 touchdowns on the season, 1,500 yards. Jamar Chase, of course, he's going off. I don't have his exact stats in front of me, but I know he's probably over 1,000 yards. Probably very well over 1,000. But there's just a bunch, as my point is going, there's a bunch of young receivers in the league that are making their quarterback look good, or giving their quarterback an extra weapon, a trusted weapon at that. It's just a need in the offense right now. Like, wide receivers, they're arguably more important than a running back. I don't know if I can say that. Running backs, we all know there's a bunch of teams doing running back by committee now. Of course, 49ers, they got Elijah Mitchell, a couple other guys, Trey Sermon. But for the most part, they're just doing running back by committee, and it's working for them. And then they got Deebo Samuel, who's a wide receiver, where they could pretty much put all over the field. Like, he's their do-it-all type of weapon, receiving threat. Rushing threat at times, of course. We've seen him. There was a stat that he had more carries and more rushing yards and receiving yards during one couple games or something like that. Like, receivers are becoming the more vocal point of the offense, especially if they're versatile. They can do it all. Jalen Waddle down in Miami. There's so many. I just forgot about him right now. Jalen Waddle. He's getting some attempts in the rushing game and, of course, obviously the receiving game. And it's making Tua look pretty better than what he really is. Like, Tua, don't get me wrong, he's talented, but is Tua really that good? I don't know. And that's probably why Miami wants to go out and get Deshaun Watson to pair up with Jalen Waddle, a young receiver. So there's some young receivers in the upcoming draft that we could target. Some of my favorite guys, Jameson Williams, he's probably going to be either the first or second receiver taken. He's definitely going to be one of the top 2 receivers taken. There's no way he falls to number 3. But yeah, it's probably going to be him. And I would say Garrett Wilson. I feel like Garrett Wilson is a solid option to go 1 or 2 alongside Jameson Williams. And, of course, there's guys like Olave, Burks, Dotson, Drake London. What is he, 6'4", 200-something pounds? Like, there's a bunch of receivers in this draft that we need to target. But personally, as I said, one of my guys, Jameson Williams, he's a guy, he plays similar to me. Like, I would say like a CeeDee Lamb type of guy. Similar play style, underrated route running, of course, to be a speedster and a deep threat. And CeeDee Lamb in the NFL, he's shown his ability to be able to catch balls all over the field, whether it's short, medium, or, of course, deep. You can run him in screens. You can do jet sweeps. You can do basically everything with him. He could be the number 1 vocal point of the offense if needed as well. And Jameson Williams, I believe he could be that type of guy. Maybe another comparison, maybe like a Justin Jefferson type. Obviously not as good coming out of college. Justin Jefferson was a beast coming out. Jameson Williams, he just started getting hype recently, like over this past year. He's always been good, don't get me wrong, but he just hasn't been able to put it all on the field until recently after this year with Alabama. But he's a guy that I believe the Texans should target. If they're able to get a couple firsts from Deshaun Watson this year, or maybe trade back from 3, Houston Texans are likely going to at least have 2 first-round picks, at the least. There's always a possibility we could have 3 with a Deshaun Watson in New York trade, or maybe even 4 if we trade Tunsil, or maybe even 5 if we trade back. Imagine we trade back from 3, we get 2 firsts from Watson, and then a first from Tunsil. Like, there's so many possibilities where we could get first-round picks. And I think we should use at least one of them on a receiver. Like, this is the point of the video. Get you a receiver that can just change the dynamic of the offense. So, of course, we got Brandon Cooks, very underrated receiver. He hit 1,000 yards on the season. And I think he's had 3-4 years straight 1,000-yard seasons or something like that. I don't know the exact number, but something like that. He's just been a very reliable target. But is he really a guy they can put out there and say, hey, go take over this game. We're going to throw it up to you. Or we're going to put the ball in your hands. Go make something out of it. I personally don't think so. Of course, you can do different things with him, jet sweeps, with a more, I guess, organized offense. Like if we have a true quarterback in command, nothing against Davis Mills, but he's a rookie. He's not going to be able to have command of this offense. If we had a better offensive line, obviously a better running game. Maybe Brandon Cooks could be that type of guy, but I don't think he would be the guy in the offense to be like the main playmaker. He could be. He's shown it this year and, of course, last year. But I just don't think he's going to be able to be that number one guy for the future. And getting you a guy, as I'm saying, like Jameson Williams, Olave, Garrett Wilson, of course. Garrett Wilson, you could play him pretty much anywhere on the receiving core, on the slot, on the outside, number 3 receiver. He could do it all. And then he could help stretch the field for Nico Collins. Imagine, I'm going to just use Jameson. I've been using him the whole video as an example. Imagine Jameson, Nico, and Cooks. You got the big body in Nico, the guy who can go up and get it. You got Brandon Cooks, the guy, I guess that could be the trusted guy for Davis Mills or whoever the future quarterback is. The guy that you say, hey, it's third down. Pick me up this first down either on a underneath route, a slant, an out, whatever it is. I'm going to put the ball in your hands. Just go get it. And then, of course, you got Jameson Williams, who could be that burner. That guy that just runs downfield, or the guy that does jet sweeps. The guy that you could put in the backfield and run it with him to confuse the defense. You could just do a ton of different things. Like, it's unimaginable how many different things you can do with a very, very dynamic receiver. And as I've said, we're seeing it with San Francisco, using Deebo Samuel everywhere. But yeah, the Houston Texans just need to get a receiver in the first 2 rounds. And if they can do that, I believe this rebuild is going to go much faster. You can give Davis Mills, or as I said, whoever's quarterback, a more trustworthy weapon, another hopeful superstar weapon. And it can just help spread this offense out. And then, of course, we're going to need the run game. But that's not where I'm going to go with this video. But, yeah, let me know what y'all guys think. Do y'all think the Houston Texans should draft a receiver in the first round if they have multiple first-round picks? Of course, if they don't, I wouldn't even touch a receiver at the number 3 spot, obviously. But if they do trade back or get first from Deshaun, would y'all take one in the first? And if not, would y'all take one in the second? Or what's the earliest y'all would take a wide receiver? But, yeah, that's pretty much the video. I hope you guys have a good day, and it's been Clutch City Entertainment out. Peace.